Good morning, students. Welcome to class 8 biology class. So, today we will be dealing with the subtopic how do the viruses differ from bacteria? Differences between viruses and bacteria. So, if you can look into the slide in the tabular format, you will see the first point that viruses are very small, as I already mentioned, that they can only be visible by electron microscope. Electron microscope uses the laser beam or the electron ray to see the things, to see the object under the lens. So, a very minute particle can also be visible by it. Whereas, if you can see the bacteria larger and can be seen by light microscope also, so it does not need a much higher magnification to watch the bacteria under the lens. It can easily be visible by light microscope. So we can say on this context that bacteria are a bit larger than viruses. Second point, viruses are acellular. Acellular means they do not have a cell. As I already told you before, that viruses only have a genetic material RNA covered by a protein, and outside there are few extensions. These are surface proteins. Whereas bacteria are single-celled unicellular organisms, prokaryotes. Third point, viruses have no metabolism. How viruses can have metabolism if they don't have any organelle or they don't have a cell itself? We have already studied that viruses uses the metabolism of other cells. Virus is not a cell, it is only a particle with a genetic material and protein code. It goes and sit on other cells, infect it, and use their metabolism for increasing its number. Whereas bacteria are single cell organisms, so they have all organelles within it, so they have a metabolism. Metabolism means the cellular activity which is taking place inside the body for the formation of energy. Viruses, fourth point, take no food by any method. As I already said that there are certain points which regard viruses as alive, and there are certain points which regard it as non-living. So on that basis we say that it does not eat any food. Whereas bacteria take food by absorption. They absorb the food from the body. Like in our stomach also there is bacteria which helps in digestion of food, in absorption of food. Fifth number, viruses do not grow and do not divide. Viruses are not growing their size, neither they are dividing themselves. Make one thing clear. Cell. When a cell is dividing, when a cell is actually dividing, they are dividing their cellular or genetic material also along with the organelle. But as viruses are not cell, they are not dividing but they are multiplying. They are just increasing their number. They are capturing any cell as host. They are sitting on it. They are eating their metabolism, and they are just multiplying themselves and increasing their numbers. And there is no limit of increment of. They can increase to any time, means any limit. Whereas if you see bacteria, they grow in size, as you know. They are increasing their size and divide to produce more bacteria. As I said that there is a limit of division. When I was teaching you cell, I already mentioned that cell divide in a geometric fashion. That means one cell will become 2, 2 will become 4, 4 will become 8, 8 will become 16, 32, and this how the division goes on. Whereas in bacteria there is no whereas in viruses there is no actual division but multiplication. Like a single virus can multiply into 1,000 at a time or 100 at a time. There is no time limit, and for every virus there is different amount, different, no, actually no limit is only there. We cannot say that okay, this virus is going to multiply and forming, it will form 50 viruses or 60 viruses. But if we talk about bacteria, we can say okay, this bacteria when it will divide, it will first form 4, then it will form 8, then after this much time it will form 16. This is how we can say it. Point 6 can be crystallized. As we studied that viruses can be remain inactive and they can be kept in liquid nitrogen at a very low temperature for a long period of time. Bacteria cannot be crystallized. If they will be kept in liquid nitrogen, they will most probably die. Seventh, command the host cell to produce viruses. Already mentioned that it will sit on the host, and when the virus get inside the host body, it will just hijack the metabolism of the cell. He will become the master of the cell. Now whatever he is going to command, the virus is going to command, the cell is going to perform that. That means he will hijack the cell's metabolism and he will multiply itself, increase its number. Bacteria self-reproduce. That means that bacteria has a process of reproduction. It does not need anybody else. Like in human or in any other animal, there is requirement of one male and one female to reproduce. Whereas in microorganisms like bacteria, there is no requirement of a male or a female gender. But the one bacteria can divide on its own, can reproduce on its own. You will talk about this, more on this topic in further chapters. Point 8. All produce diseases in man, animals or plant. So different viruses are there. In man, the novel coronavirus, animals, retrovirus or influenza virus, blood flu influenza virus. Plants, one famous virus is there, TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Whereas bacteria, some are harmless, as I said, while bacteria also residing inside our stomach, but we are not getting harmed of it. Instead, it is helpful in digesting our food. Some are useful, like bacteria used in alcoholic fermentation. Yeast are useful for fermentation and in making bread and all. And some cause disease, some can lead to disease, like various example. You have seen the video in the previous slide. The video was just provided to you in order to remind you of how the virus affect or hijack a cell and increase its number. So this is all about today's topic.